Hello everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Asteroid City. Asteroid City was directed by Wes Anderson, and I was looking forward to this movie. I thought it looked good. I was excited for it. It has a good cast. But unfortunately, I gotta say, I left this movie disappointed. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Overall, as a whole, I have to say that I did not like this film. Honestly, out of the films that have been released in 2023 that I have seen, this is down toward the bottom of my list. There's quite a few things here that I dislike and that just don't work for me. My biggest issue with the film really is like the story and the characters. And for me, those are two of the most important things when it comes to film. I think when it comes to action in a movie, if there's no narrative purpose behind the action, it's just kind of visual noise. And when there's no depth to characters, when there's not really an engaging story, the whole film just kind of turns into a little bit of visual noise. And so that's what it did here for me. None of the characters are interesting at all. None of the characters were really well defined. But let's also talk about the dialogue real quick before I dive deeper into the characters, because they all sound the same. Basically, all of the characters sound the same. They have the same cadence. The dialogue, it all sounds like it could be coming from one singular character. So no character is really that well defined, even by the way that they speak. And so when you start hearing the same kind of cadence, the same kind of dialogue from every single character, the whole movie, it just doesn't work for me. It honestly gets a bit boring for me. It all just kind of runs together. They tell you about these characters more than they actually demonstrate who they are. Like, for example, they might say like, oh, you're shy, or oh, this character is deeply wounded. Well, like, excuse me? Show me. Don't tell me. I want to see these characters. And if you just say these things, but you don't show me, that doesn't work. I thought at the beginning of the film, maybe the first 20 minutes, it really seemed like we were going to kind of dive in to some of these characters, and there's going to be some depth and some layers here. But there was not at all. There are no character arcs in this film. Basically, everybody ends the film in the exact same place where they started the film. To compare it to another movie that I reviewed recently, the thing that the holdovers did with their characters, everything that they did right, this movie did the exact opposite. Also, throughout the film, they kind of tried to add some like real life portions to this, and that didn't work for me at all either. So if you're trying to say that's where the real characters are, that's where the real story's supposed to be, I don't see it anywhere. But if you're not going to have a really intriguing and engaging story, you have to have these characters that you love and that you relate to, that have depth, and they don't here. You have to make me care in other ways. So basically the story here is there's a science fair everybody shows up for in this kind of middle of nowhere town, and an alien shows up, takes the asteroid, they're all put in quarantine, and then the alien shows back up, delivers the asteroid back, and they kind of just release everybody. And that's it. That's simple. That's okay. You don't have to have a really complex story for it to be interesting. I need to care about the characters, and I don't. Continuing to compare this film to The Holdovers, if you haven't seen my review, go watch it. It's an absolutely fantastic film. I had such a good time reviewing it. The Holdovers did such a good job with another simple story. It's about a grumpy history teacher and kind of a troubled student who have to be stuck together at a boarding school over Christmas break. Again, that's a simple story, but those characters are so well done. You love these characters. You get to learn about those characters. There's so many layers. There's so much depth with great performances, and you want to kind of live in that world of the holdovers. You care about them. You want to see good things happen for them, and you learn who they are as a core, and they change from beginning to end. They learn, they grow. None of that happens here in Asteroid City. I'm sorry to compare this to the holdovers, but I've been thinking about the holdovers ever since I saw it. So again, go back and watch my review if you haven't. Another thing I'll say is I don't think this film was very funny. It's supposed to be funny, but it didn't work for me. I had a few laughs there in like the first 20 minutes. And so that's kind of what I was expecting the rest of the film. And it just didn't happen. I really didn't find the rest of the film funny pretty much at all. The cast in this film was absolutely incredible, but it wasn't incredible because of their performances. It's incredible because of all of the talent and all of the names they had. Like there's Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Scarlett Johansson, Adrien Brody, Jason Schwartzman, Maya Hawke, Tom Hanks, Steve Carell, Rupert Friend. Like there's just a ton of really talented people here. There's star power all across this film. There's a lot of actors here I love, but unfortunately, because of the writing, because of the direction of the film, I don't think anybody was really good here. Like, for example, Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson, those are both incredibly talented performers. But I thought that they were pretty bad in this. And it was really weird to see. There were quite a few just flat out bad performances from these really talented actors. So I don't put it on them. There's way too much talent here. I think it's just the script. I think it's just the directing, and it just doesn't work for me. The technical filmmaking here is by far the best part of the movie. It definitely has that Wes Anderson style. I don't know if you've seen some of those posts around, people asking AI to do like Star Wars in the style of Wes Anderson, stuff like that. Well, this definitely has that Wes Anderson style, and it is really good. It's visually pleasing. I love the color grading on this. Everything pops. They do such a good job of making the desert interesting. You're in a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, and because of the color, because of the way it's shot, it is a very interesting location, and it's very, very pretty to look at. It's just really impressive. It's vibrant. I love it. I love the cinematography here too. I love the use of camera panning left, right, up, and down. And I love the tracking shots they use in this film. Every shot is definitely intentional, and there's a ton of tiny little details. And I really appreciate that. There's a ton of unique shot choices that just makes it visually interesting. And they even use some miniatures here in a very cool way. The set design was absolutely top notch. And like I said, it is a very pretty film. However, I have to say that I think it works better as just like a pretty screensaver, pretty background, something like that, other than an actual film. Overall, I have to say that this was incredibly disappointing for me. This is like the exact opposite feeling I had with the holdovers. Going into the holdovers, I expected to like it. I ended up loving it. With this one, I expected to like it. I ended up very much so disliking it. I didn't find the story interesting. I didn't find the characters interesting. And a lot of the performances in this film were just not good. The technical filmmaking here is really impressive. It's the best part of the film, but it's not enough to save it for me. Unfortunately, I just really don't like this film, and it saddens me to say that. I think I have to give it like a 1.5 out of 5 stars. It's definitely toward the bottom of my 2023 releases that I've seen this year. But that's it. That's my review of Asteroid City. Have you seen this film? Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Do you see it in a completely different way than me? And do you love this film? let me know. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. You can follow me on social media pretty much anywhere at CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.